And I feel like going neutral is the best way to retain that community. And it still allows every single student here, every single faculty, to keep their voice. That being said, I turn to all of you. Don't give up your voice. Go into the community. Tell them about this amendment. As some of you can see, I'm wearing a Vote No bracelet right now. I've been wearing it for weeks on end, straight. I challenge you to go knocking on doors, go volunteering, make phone calls, and let your voice be heard. Imagine what we could have done today if everyone at the protest went across the Midway area knocking on doors to raise awareness of the Vote No amendment. President Hanson, I realize, and Board of Trustee members, Provost, I realize that this is a very difficult decision. And I just want to thank you and let you know that there are students here that agree with your decision. Thank you.
So it's been stated numerous times that this is a politically divisive issue. That it's a
Could you tell us your name?
Oh yeah, my name is Robin. I'm a graduating senior year at Hamline. What was I saying before? Thank you, okay. So people have said that this is a politically divisive issue, that it's a political decision. But that categorization is problematic for a number of reasons. As soon as we label it a political decision, it becomes okay to say, no, we can be neutral on this. No, there's one side and then there's the other side. But the fact of the matter is, this is not a political decision. This is not a political issue. This is an issue of civil rights. With the values of social justice and diversity to deny that fact. Moreover, though, it becomes extremely problematic when we think about how far this could extend. If we view this as a political issue and not as a matter of civil rights, what else can we view as a political issue? Will Hamline refuse to take a stance on racism, on classism, on sexism, on any number of evils that we already know to exist? In my opinion, this is no different. This is still the creation of a second tier of society, a second-class citizen, solely on the basis of labeling it as politics. So I guess my greater question then becomes, in what way do we reconcile the competing value of social justice, which demands that we vote no on this amendment, with a policy that does not take a stand?
You have in your last comment beautifully framed what we ought to be talking about for the next several weeks. I mean, that is where we need to be. That's where communities that are respectful and want to have discourse and want to have impact should be talking. So thank you. Thank you for your comment. Next person. I'm not going to answer her question because I am not that needs to be resolved by all of us. That needs to be, that's what we're talking about. Do you want your, okay, could you restate a question specifically for me?
I would like to know how Hamline University can reconcile, as an institution, a commitment to social justice while denying the fact that this is not a political issue, that it is an issue of civil rights.
Okay, I think that I think that was a big part of what the trustees talked about, also what I wrestled with, which is that, you know, how do you define and sustain what is a political issue and what is an issue of civil rights? You mentioned some of the earlier things that have long been settled with regard to racism, with regard to sexism, and so
settled?
Hear me out. I've been listening to you. What I'm saying now is that is that there is a difference of opinion as to whether it is political or whether it is an issue of civil rights. I'm just don't shoot the messenger. I'm just describing what the various sides have said. So not everyone agrees that it's an issue of civil rights. Remember, I am not speaking personally. I'm speaking as the person who has to be able to try to be the interpreter, if you will, of what I have heard, and I'm sharing that with you. There is not universal agreement from what I have heard on whether it is civil rights or whether it's political. Some people say out now it's political and you shouldn't go near it. Others say, no, it's not an issue of civil rights. Others say it's absolutely a right, it is a civil rights issue. That's where the debate lies. And so I can't answer that question for you today. We need to, every person in here who's going to vote has to answer that question and be heard at the ballot box. Next.
I come to you as a first year. I do not have the experience, and I don't even know a quarter or a fifth or a tenth of it. But I have the courage to stand up here and take a stance. And I feel my school, the school I picked out of all the schools I applied to, that they should also have the courage to take a stance. Now, I am, as a Hamline student, I'm expected to represent my school, to do good things, get good grades, be somebody in society. But Hamline does not represent me in taking a stance. There's no point in having a voice if you're not going to use it. And I feel if you're neutral, that's what you're doing. You're silencing yourself. And I don't want to be in part of a school that keeps silence. Thank you. That's why I asked Hamline to have the courage with me. And I don't know if you guys have in which side you stand, but I ask everybody in the Board of Trustees and Linda Hanson to help to take that courage. I will give you my courage to stand up here, as scary as it might be, to take courage and stand up and take a stance, whatever you think.